Yeah, I get it. Studying for exam can be really, really frustrating and really, really tiring. And if you're very new to it, it feels like the whole responsibility of the world is on your shoulder, and it's something that it's really, really tiring. And you find yourself procrastinating. You're like, okay, I just want to do this tomorrow, or let me just take 5 minutes off, and the 5 minutes turns to 10 minutes, your 10 minutes turns to 1 hour, you 1 hour turns to almost 24 hours, and before you know it, that whole day is gone and you haven't actually studied a bit. Now, I'm gonna give you a tip on how to actually study, even if you're a procrastinator, and this tip will actually help you because I have gone through that, and I've seen a lot of people who has actually gone through that same problem that you're going through. Now, everyone is gonna go through it. Even till now, I still go through that same problem. So I'm gonna give you the tip that I use to increase my chance of reading even when I was trying to procrastinate. So stay tuned, guys, and stay tuned to the end. First of all, I'll give you guys a set goals for yourself. Now, it's really, really easy to lose motivation if you don't actually have a goal for yourself. You could okay say that okay, if I don't study this week, then I can study next week. Or even if you decide to pick a particular topic, you will notice that it will take you about topic that's supposed to take you just a week to complete. It's going to take you about 3 weeks to complete. Now you're like, okay, if I don't complete it today, then I can complete it next week, or maybe tomorrow, and your tomorrow turns to next tomorrow, and before you know, the whole week is completed, and you're still studying just one topic, and maybe it could be even worse than studying just one page. Now, once you set goal for yourself, create a timeline and set a deadline for yourself. Okay, this is what I want to study in by the end of this week. I want to study about two topics by the end of this week. And trust me, if you set a goal and set a timeline for yourself, trust me, even when you try to procrastinate, you know that okay, I have to study this topic. Trust me, you always want to finish that topic at that particular deadline. But there is a problem that I've seen a lot of people make when setting a deadline. It's they are always setting unrealistic goals or unrealistic deadline. You're like, I want to complete 5 topics in one day, or I want to complete 10 topics in 1 week. Now, 10 topics in 1 week isn't on unrealistic goals. If each topic is like let's say two page or a page, not when you're dealing with about 10 page topic each of them, and you say you want to finish them in just 1 week. Trust me, it's going to be very, very, very hard. Even the two, if you're new, even if you're new and you want to start with two page, it's still going to be a bit hard for you. But let's just give you benefit of doubt. But if you are actually been studying for a long time, then I believe that two page is something that's easily achievable. But talking about 10 page, then it's something that you can achieve and you know you can achieve. So set goals that are realistic, but most importantly, set goals for yourself, set deadline. Okay, this is what I want to do by the end of this week, and trust me, you would actually want to or glide to complete those goals, and before you know it, you have completed those goals and you have the next goal to settle. And the next tip I'm going to give you guys is take breaks. Now, take breaks during study. Now, I've actually talked about this a whole lot in my other video on how to prevent procrastination, and I'll link it down in the description box down below, and you guys can watch it after you're done with this video, obviously. Okay, when I'm talking about taking breaks, it's really, 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 it's something that you should actually do. It's compulsory. I put it as a compulsory stuff. Don't always try to study for 4 hours, 8 hours without taking break. You will get exhausted, and at the end of the day, one thing you don't want to actually do when studying is getting exhausted, because that is just the symptom of procrastination. By the time you get exhausted, you're like, okay, let me take 5 minutes off. Okay, let me take 1 hour off, and before you know, you have actually stay the whole day without completing that topic that you have actually started. But when you take breaks in between this time, you could actually use it to do other things. Keep your mind out of studying. You could use it to play card. Now, I always advise you not to indulge in your mobile activities. If you want to go Facebooking and Instagram, now I'll always tell you not to do that. I always tell you to keep that till the end of your study section. But if you want to do other things, that there are other things you could do even without pressing your phone that could actually give you fun and keep your mind engaged. Stuff like playing boards, playing card, playing puzzle or project or whatever, maybe a project or something like that. You could actually do that during your break period, and don't always extend your break too much. You could take a 5 minute break, then the next break you take you can take it a 10-minute break. Don't always say, okay, I want to take 1 hour break. Before you know it, you're taking more longer than an hour. So if you want to start your break, start with less time, 5 minutes. It's that I think that's fairly enough, or 10 minutes. I think that's fairly enough. We don't give yourself a long break that I want to take 1 hour break, because by the time you give yourself 1 hour break, by the time you distance your mind from studying, your mind will actually want to go back to that study. But if you can give yourself just 10 minutes, your mind is still rushing through that. Okay, in the next 10 minutes, I'm going back to study. But if you give yourself the chance that, okay, I still have an hour more job, then you're gonna find a problem. You're gonna find it hard to go back to studying. But if you give yourself a 10-minute break, then you could actually go back to studying. But I will always advise you to take break in between those study sections. One tip I want to give you guys is be flexible with your study habits. Now, everyone have different way of studying, and I think it's really good for you to try out different techniques that will actually work for you, and not just rely on the technique that was actually told to you by a friend or family or whatever. Now, I believe that you should try to learn, try to see what works for you and not what is working for someone else. Everyone is different, everyone is unique in their own study habits. Some are good at studying in the morning, some are late nighters, that means they study more at night, some are actually studying in daytime, maybe in the afternoon or so. Now, you should always try to experiment with yourself and see what technique is actually working best for you, and follow that technique. Tailor all your study down to that technique, and not just trying to copy someone else, or do something that is not you, or that is not actually going to work for you. Because by the time you try, okay, maybe your friend is stay up all morning, and you are not the kind of person who stay up all morning studying, and you're like, okay, I want to actually stay up all morning. Now, because your brain is not actually used to staying up all morning, it gives you the idea that, okay, let's just take a break. You always notice that you get exhausted easily. And I told you, one thing you don't want to have when studying is being exhausted. You don't want to be exhausted. You don't want to exhaust yourself and waste yourself out during study session. Now, try different techniques, experiment with different techniques, and know which one works best for you. Because if you're trying to copy someone else, trust me, you're going to procrastinate a lot, because your brain is not adapted to those kind of study session. So always try to experiment yourself. Try out, don't be afraid to try out different sessions. Even when you are still using one, try to see if another one can work best for you. If one that you are, maybe the one you're actually doing currently isn't really giving you that much study ability you want to get, you could try out other things, try other ways, and see what works best for you, and then you can focus on that, or double down on that, and or whatever. Just try out different way, try out different things to do. If you feel like one way is getting you more tired, try out another way, and trust me, you would really appreciate it. Another important tip that I will actually give you guys is have fun. Now, studying doesn't always have to be boring, doesn't have to always be long, tedious and process. You could actually break it down, have fun, do other activities. You could, I don't think that you should study for even 2 hours straight without having at least 5 minutes of fun. Now, I think it's really crucial for you to keep your mind engaged, to keep your mind off studying, at least for even if it's 3 or 4 minutes. I think it's really helpful. So whenever you're studying, try to have fun. During your break, try to have fun. Try to do something that it's not just, you don't just have to just, once you're break, you just rush to the bed and you want to take 2 minute nap before you come back. No, you could do other activities, have fun. Like I said, play card, do project, play puzzle, whatever. Just try to stay away from your phone, which will actually eat more of your time. So just have fun. Don't always put studying as the overall thing you should always engage yourself in 24/7, because you're going to be worn out. Seriously, trust me, take it from me, because I've actually gone through this so many times. So try to have fun, do other activities during your self-study session. Another tip I want to give you guys is be organized. Now, it's really helpful and it's really useful to use a reminder to create an organized study session and set a deadline. Now, it's really good, because a lot of people, when studying, okay, especially when you want to go on the study break, they'll just be like, okay, I want to give yourself 5 minutes. Now, it's really easy to stay more than 5 minutes. In fact, it's very easy to get lost in whatever you're doing and then forget to come back to study. But if you set a reminder, you could use your stopwatch to set a reminder, okay, 5 minutes. Then once you hear that beeping, and whatever, but when you hear that beeping, you know that, okay, this is my time to go back to study. But when you're like, there is nothing that is actually to remind you, there's nothing to tell you that, okay, you should go back to study. Trust me, you will use more than that 5 minutes. And when you're engrossed in whatever you're doing, you won't actually want to come back because your brain has a way of tricking you. Like, why don't you just do it more 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and so on. So always try to set a reminder. You could use a stopwatch, you could use your phone, but it's more advisable to use a stopwatch to set reminder. So always try to set a deadline for yourself and to use an equipment because it's more reliable to use an equipment than using your mind to want to set deadline. Because if you're like setting deadline for 5 minutes, trust me, your deadline is not going to be 5 minutes. If you're setting a reminder for 5 minutes, rather your reminder is not going to be 5 minutes. You know that you're going to remind yourself in the next 1 hour time. So it's more helpful and more useful to use other equipment like your smartwatch, which is more reliable. That's what I actually use sometimes. Sometimes I use my phone, but the thing is, it's really risky if you're not the kind of person to control yourself and you want to. Okay, let me just check one or two app or something like that, and that's it. So always try to be organized, set deadline, and set reminder for yourself. The last thing I'm going to give you guys is take tests. Now, I know that this is not really what some of you want to hear. You don't want to take tests because you're actually scared, but I think it would actually motivate you to study, even if you're a procrastinator. Because by the time you see yourself going low, lower, and lower, and you don't actually want yourself to go down, you actually to actually motivate you to try to study just to get your test up. Now, I think this is really important. Now, some people might say, okay, yeah, this will make you lose motivation altogether because when you see yourself when you're actually studying and your score is actually still going down, it's going to really really affect you for a long time, and it's going to really kill your motivation. Now, yeah, I know, I understand. I've been there too. After studying for a lot of time, only for me to take a test and I'm scoring below average, and it's really really hurtful and really painful. But I think it's actually one of the greatest motivation that you can have to help yourself to push yourself to know that okay, I need more. Now, when taking a test, also, it's really really important because it opens your mind to some things you don't understand, some things you think you understand, but trust me, you don't actually understand. Now, it's not just solving the problem of procrastination; it's also studying the problem of what you don't know and how to correct yourself. Now, I know this is not also under procrastination, but I think I just need to add this tip to actually make you curb those your problem you have when studying. So, guys, these are my tips that I think should help you guys. So, if you have any contribution or you have any suggestion or you have maybe altercation that you don't agree with, you could drop it in the comment section below, and I will surely get back to you guys. So, thank you for watching. See you in the next session.